What's up, guys? This is Joshua Harmon Sr., principal broker and owner of Harmon Real Estate Company, and we're back with another deal of the day. This is my absolute favorite segment that I do on any social media channel, just talking about real estate, how to analyze properties the correct way, well, at least the way that I analyze properties. Not only am I showing you guys how to fine-tune your skills, but I'm also working myself. So every day I'm trying to get repetitions in of analyzing properties, so I can keep my skills very sharp, and then also share with you guys as well how you can create wealth for yourself and your family. So today we're going to look at a deal that I have listed here in Fort Smith, Arkansas. The address is 2201 Jackson Street, 2115 Jackson Street, and 3839 Old Jenny Lynn. It's 3 duplexes built in 2015, so very little maintenance. The average rent is $750. So if you're not familiar with this market, $750 is a pretty good rent. You know, we have, I think the max rent that I'll see in a duplex is like $1,300. So this is a workforce housing type of property. When you start to get into the $1,300 and $1,200 and $1,300, over $1,000, I would say, you start talking about A-class properties. I would say that this is a B-class property, but a very new product, being that it was built in 2015, so very minimal repairs and maintenance. So I'm very excited about this one. We're gonna get right to it, and we're gonna show you how you can make this deal work for you. All too many times people are sending me texts, giving me calls, hey, find me a deal. Well, this is your deal right here. With COVID-19 going on, the stock market is up and down. So that directly affects, 401ks and different retirement accounts. If you are a new investor and you want to get into a deal, this is the deal you need to be looking at. You need to bring this to your aunt and uncle, your mom and dad, a close family friend, and say, hey, look, your returns aren't great in the 401k. I know you want to probably grow that and put it in a more safe, tangible asset. Let me help you get into this deal with me. We'll figure out a specific ownership percentage between you and I, and let's do this deal together. This is how you get into real estate. But they have to trust you first. They have to trust that you know what you're doing. So we're gonna show you how to analyze this deal and make it work for yourself. So give me 1 second as I pull this up. I wonder if I can sit down and write at the same time. I don't think I can. Let's stand up. So my gross income here, my gross income is $4,500 a month, $750 per unit. I hope y'all can see this. Typo. $750 per. My debt service. And for those who don't know what debt service, as you get more sophisticated, you don't want to say a mortgage or your house payment, you must say debt service. Let's see, if you put 20% down, which you need to have equity in your deal so you have more flexibility when things like this happen with COVID-19. If you don't have any equity, people put in 0%, 5%, 10%. That's not enough equity to, 1, cash flow, 2, to basically have a buffer if you need to sell it. What if you're borrowing money from an aunt and uncle, family friend or whatever, or even yourself, you're using your own money. You don't want to be stuck into a deal because you don't have enough equity to sell it. So that's why you put 20% down. So 28.85. That's what the 20%. Yeah. Oh yeah, I didn't mention. So this deal is $570,000. So $570,000, 20% down on a 4.5% interest rate. I don't know what the interest rates are right now, but when they level out, they'll be about 4.5%, 5%. So I just put 4.5 here. So debt service is $28.85. The tenants pay all the utilities. I want to correct myself. I don't say tenants, I say residents. Tenants, it just sounds, I don't know. I just like to say residents. You want them to feel like they're a part, that this is home, so I always call them residents. I don't call them tenants. But the residents pay all the utilities. But you'll still want to factor in utility payments for when you're making units ready. You got a cleaning person coming over, they'll need used water. If you got a contractor coming over to, clean the carpet or, fix something and the unit is vacant, you'll use a little bit of electricity. So I'll say about $30 a month on average. I think it'll be significantly less than that most months. I mean, you may get a $5 electric bill one month. I get it all the time, but, just factor that stuff in on the front end. So when you're bringing this deal to somebody else, they were like, man, I didn't even think about that. They're doing conservative underwriting and really looking out for my money and being a good steward of my capital. So let's go on to the next thing. We got repairs and maintenance, R&M. Being that this was built in 2015, I wouldn't do a 10% repairs and maintenance budget. I'll say about 5%. Just about everything in there is 5 years old. Nothing in there was used parts or anything like that. You'll have very minimal repairs and maintenance here. And you'll want to get an inspection to make sure that they use quality, quality products in the property. But I'm pretty sure, me looking at the property, I trust myself to say about 5% on repairs and maintenance. So $225 a month. My vacancy, we'll say about 5% as well. What's going on? Another typo. So this changes in every market. Every market is a little bit different. Every asset class is a little bit different. With this being a newer product, a very attractive product, being about middle of the road rent, it's not top dollar rent. I think we can trust that it'll be about a 5% vacancy. Being that you have the right management skills and the right skill set, the right hustle to make sure you're keeping things updated. You're communicating with your residents as they say they may want to be moving out for it very soon. They're not going to renew their lease. Start marketing that a couple months early or 30 days early before they move out. You should be just fine on a 5%. So that's not every single month. Most months you'll be 100%, but you may have that 15 days here, 5 days here vacant. So you always want to factor that stuff in. So 5% vacancy. I'll make sure I highlight that here. The next line item is going to be bad debt. And we talked about bad debt last time. I don't think enough people factor that in. So they try to throw everything on vacancy, but you're not telling the story an accurate way. So you're just saying that, hey, look, I got 10% vacancy or I got 7% vacancy. That's not the right thing. That they're not using the right terminology. So you need to be able to articulate your message, and that's how you'll be able to get investors to invest in your deals with you, is being able to articulate line by line exactly how a property should operate, understanding what these things mean. So bad debt is, it's not vacant. Somebody's there, but they don't have the money to pay you right now. With COVID-19, we talked about that last time. This stuff happens. You need to have this stuff playing on the front end. If everybody pays you on time, you're just fine. But you want to just go ahead and factor that in. Not so much that they won't pay you over the course of a month. Let's just say they're late on the 5th and they pay you on the 17th. But when you need to cut that check to your aunt and uncle and say, hey, look, this is what this line item is saying. We're not vacant. We just have somebody who's behind. So we got a little bit of bad debt right now. So we'll say, I don't know, $90 a month. I would say that's about, 1.5% or so. So we'll do $90 a month on bad debt. Just somebody being behind on their rent. All likelihood, they're gonna get caught up on this. But you still want to factor that in on your month by month analysis. So we'll say lawn care. Lawn care next. With it being a duplex, it's all it's one lawn and 2 residents. This is 6 units total, so 3 lawns over the course of a year. It should be about $40 a month. And the reason it averages out about $40 a month, because you're gonna have, through the winter months, you'll have 4 or 5 months where you don't do any lawn care. But, factoring in $40 a month, you should be able to put that budget away and also do a little bit of bushes, trim your shrubs, get some new flowers out there when the summer and the spring comes around. You always want to have that homey feel for your residents. That's how you're going to drive these numbers down right here. You're going to drive that vacancy number down to 5% by taking care of things like that the right way. So we'll say about $40 a month budget on lawn care. And the reason, like I said, is $40 is because you're going to have 3, 4, 5 months throughout the year where you don't do any lawn care. It's not going to grow. Let's go to the next thing, taxes. So the taxes are somewhat high. And the reason being because there are 3 different parcels to being sold all at once. Even though there's 3 parcels, and being that there are 3 parcels, you'll pay taxes on 3 separate properties. So it's $425 a month, which is about 10% maybe about 9.1, 9.2% of your gross income. It's gonna go straight to taxes. Like I said, you don't want to get to the end of the year, and the tax assessors, you get that tax bill and says, hey, look, you owe us $4,000, $5,000. It was $5,100 exactly if I'm doing that math correct. You don't want to get to the end of the year in December and say, hey, look, investor, or hey, look, wife or husband, I need to take this out of our account, $5,100, because I didn't factor in taxes. That's not smart. So you want to have a separate escrow account for taxes. Some of your lenders will require you to do that. Most of them won't. So you'll need to be responsible and a good steward of capital. Make sure you're holding that back. The next thing, we got insurance. Now, although your taxes are separate, you should be able to do a blanket insurance quote on all 3 properties. You should be able to get that all together. Let's just say $200. I don't know exactly. I'm not an insurance agent. I have no clue, but this is a guess. So let's do this math real quick. Let's do this math on what we should walk away every month. This should be a decent return, being that it's a B-class asset, only built 5 years ago. You're not gonna get those 10% returns. You have to create value in these deals. I think there's a lot of value that we need to unpack in this deal in order to get to that maximum value of this property, and I'm gonna show you how to do that. So we'll do the math on this real quick. Bear with me. I'm not a mathematician. I'm not Mr. Einstein. I'm just a real estate agent. So give me a second to do this math. 225. So you're gonna net about $380 a month. You'll get all these investors say, I wanna make $100 a door, or I wanna buy these deals at $25,000 a unit. Get sophisticated, understand how to articulate why you want these things to happen, why you wanna net $100 a door. Sometimes you're gonna add your value to get $100 a door. You're not gonna buy a 5-year-old product and make a 10% cash on cash return. That's not how it works. People aren't giving away deals. If you want to wait for that, stockpile your cash over the years, wait till the market completely crashes, buy a bunch of new development products that haven't been finished, you buy it then for cash, or you find the 1 out of 2 lenders in the country that's lending on products or on properties, and then you get it there. Otherwise, if you're gonna always be buying, if you're gonna continue to grow wealth throughout the years without just stockpiling cash under your mattress, you gotta add value. And I'm gonna show you how to add value to this deal. So $380 a month times 12 is 40. We're gonna talk annual here because we don't analyze deals on a month by month basis. So we're gonna talk $4,560 per year. And if you divide that by the $116,000, say net, $14,000 down payment. That's about a 6% return, 6.2, 6.3. If you notice, I didn't do a CapEx budget, and there's a reason why I didn't do that. I'm gonna start asking my investors to hold a budget on the front end. So maybe do a $1,500 CapEx budget in addition to this $114,000 down, and we'll keep that $1,500, $2,000 in an escrow account, instead of taking it out of the monthly cash flow. Because this is unpredictable. We don't know what's gonna happen on a month-by-month basis. This is a pretty good, it's a pretty good guess. But at the end of the day, I think it'll be a good idea on this deal, instead of taking it out of the cash flow. If you get into, some of the larger properties, it's called working capital. So having about $1,400, $1,500 of working capital, just in case something happens for CapEx, which is not coming out of your repairs and maintenance budget like we talked last time. Capital expenditures add value to your property. A new stove adds value to your property. New roof adds value to your property. Repairs and maintenance doesn't add value at all. It just makes sure everything's operating correctly. So that doesn't come out of your top line. So let's just say you'll put $15,500 down, because you're gonna do $1,500 to your working capital budget. $115,500. Am I missing something? What did I do? I'm not doing something right. Bear with me for 1 second. This is about a 4%, a 4% return. 4% return, worst case scenario. Is this a bad deal? No, it is not. And I'll show you why. So I know that right here, they're getting $750 per unit. Based on my calculations, based on my market research, based on me being in the market every day, asking people, hey, how much you renting your duplex for? How much you renting your apartment for? What have you been able to do to get those rent increases? And I'll tell you what, I walked through these units and I can tell you they should be getting about $775 per unit. Right off the bat, they should be getting about $775 per unit. I can also tell you they're not charging pet fees. They're not charging, they may get some late fees as well. So you gotta think about the other ways that you can add value. App fees, application fees, pet fees, late fees, leasing washer and dryers. So they have washer and dryer hookups here, but they don't, provide those washer and dryers. Maybe saying, hey, look, I'll lease this to you for, $50 a month. And, we'll provide the washer and dryer for you. We'll do all the maintenance on it. So those are things that you need to be looking at. Forfeiture of security deposits, rent increases, non-refundable pet deposits. So when you're doing these pet fees, a lot of people talk about, hey, look, I want to do $25 a month pet rent. But you don't factor in the fact that, that little chihuahua may rip up your carpet or rip at your baseboards or something like that. I know some managers in town who do $500 non-refundable pet deposits. And in all likelihood, a lot of the pets won't be dirty, but you'll get the one or two that, they just don't get a chance to go outside like they need to. They're not taken care of like they should. But they get a puppy who's not trained, and then obviously, things are gonna happen. So let's go through this real quick. I'm gonna put together a quick scenario. Let's see what we can do. Let's see what we can do to add value to this deal. See if I can make this work. You gotta be a wizard with numbers. Okay. So let's do this. We're going to add $25 to the top line of our rent per unit. That's going to give us, let's see, that'll give us $150 a month. So we're going to rent, increase, what's that? That's $150 times 12. So we're gonna add $1,800 to our top line annually. We're gonna assume that if we allow pets with $500 pet deposits, we're probably gonna lose most of those deposits towards just going back into repairs of the property. But let's just say half of our residents get pets. So we got 3 out of our 6 units with pets. That's gonna add $75 a month times 12, so $900. Pet fees, $900 to our top line. Let's just say from Rent-A-Center, we can get a washer and dryer, or we can find a local used appliance company to give us washer and dryers for, I don't know, $500. I know a coin operated set is about it's about $1,000. So I'm sure you can get just a regular residential one for $500. 500 times 6, about $3 grand. $3 grand for the washing dryers. But let's just say you can get 50 a month times 6 times 12. You could pay these off in 1 year and make a profit of $600. So 3,600 3,600 divided by 3,000. That is 120% return. So we're gonna add $600 to our top line for laundry. $600 because we're gonna lease all these back. We'll give you an option. We'll give you an option. Hey, look, you can lease this from us for $50 a month, a washer and dryer set, and we'll do the maintenance on it. You know, some people are gonna load them up too much, but hey, look, if we charge you a deposit for that as well, that takes care of those things. $100 deposit or something, $50 deposit, or whatever. I fixed the leak on my coin-operated washer just the other day. It was $90 to fix the leak. So it's not very expensive to do maintenance on wash and dry. So let's see what the value that we're adding. This we're gonna bring to our uncle. Say, hey, look, it's only making a 4% return, which is pretty similar to what you're making up in the stock market anyway. You need to know that guy or that girl who's at Merrill Lynch and investing your money. Come sit with me. You know me. You trust me. You know I want to do great for my family. You know I'll take care of you. Let me show you how I'm gonna take your 4% return. We're gonna boost that up a little bit, and we'll see where we're at. So we're gonna add 1,800 plus 900 plus 600 plus a 4560 original net income. Because when you're adding value at properties, a lot of times your expenses don't change. Now laundry, you may have to take deposits in order to take care of some of that stuff to make sure it's not affecting these numbers. When you raise rent, that doesn't mean your repairs and maintenance are gonna go up. If you take a $500 pet fee, a pet non-refundable pet deposit, that means they ain't getting the money back. They're not getting the money back. If you charge them $25 a month, that should take care of the repairs of having a little small pet. You know what I'm saying? If you get what I'm saying, that $900 goes straight to your top line. All these should go straight to your top line. That shouldn't affect this. You need to make sure you're taking deposits to make sure you're taking care of the potential damages that laundry or pet fees may cause, or pets may cause. So our new net income is $78.60. So I'm gonna erase some of this stuff to get rid of the clutter. $78.60. Now we're gonna divide that by 114,000, put our 3,000 towards it's 117,000. We're looking at a 6.7% cash on cash. You get a 6.7% cash on cash return. Now, there's not a lot of people who are investing money in their 401ks that are getting 6.7% return. Do you have full-time investors who will buy C-class properties and get 10, 15, 20% returns? For sure. But it comes with a lot of problems. It comes with a lot of termites and roaches and got in a fight with my boyfriend. And hey, I don't work at the AutoZone anymore. I don't have my job at McDonald's or Sonic. I can't afford my rent this month. C-class properties just bring different problems. I was sitting down with an investor the other day, almost 450 units, pretty much all C-class. He said, I'm done with it. I'm about to start building A-class properties. I just can't deal with the problems of C-class no more. I'm past it. You know what I'm saying? And it's more safe when you're dealing with these A-class, B-class assets. Now C-class, that's where you're gonna make a lot of the money, but it's gonna come with a lot of problems and unpredictability. So when you're self-managing and you're taking care of properties, I would probably say get a B-class property, take the 6.7% cash on cash return. And these are things it isn't hard to do. You can do this. Anybody can do this. So I appreciate you guys tuning in to another deal of the day. If you have a deal that you'd like me to analyze next show, I'm gonna do this once a week. I'm having fun with it. Send it to me. info@harmonrealestatecompany.com. info@harmonrealestatecompany.com. Take a look at this deal. It may be gone by the next time you see it. I didn't mention 1915 South T Street. The day after I posted that deal, it was sold. So you snooze, then you lose. You lost. I'm sorry, what the hell am I talking about? You lose. You lost. You lost out. So take a look at this deal. 2201 Jackson Street. You should be able to get on Zillow or HarmonRealEstateCompany.com and take a look at it. I'll catch you guys next time.